Hi, folks. You're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio radio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the cost of taking in illegal alien immigrants into the West, and looking at, say, countries like Britain, the United States, that sort of thing, Canada. Now, there's a few. If you piece them together, there's a few breakdowns of costs. For what it costs to actually receive these people. Now, that's not including the cost of the big travel and people movement infrastructure that's paid for by the NGOs and the United Nations, all that sort of thing. What intrigues me when you see the camera pan over these people that claim, say, that the American-US border, that they walked all the way from Guatemala or somewhere, over 1,000 kilometers they've walked all the way, and yet they're wearing brand new, clean clothes. They've got brand new, brand name joggers, and they're looking like they're all shaved and showered and so on. You go, well, hold on a minute. If you're a penniless peasant having made that long journey, living rough and all that sort of thing, they don't look gaunt or anything like that. They look like they're well fed, and the whole. How is that possible? How is that possible? Penniless peasants leaving their little rural village in the middle of nowhere and walking, so they claim, walking over 1,000 kilometers across some pretty difficult, hot, steamy, tropical terrain. You're crashing through jungles, the whole business, and yet they arrive at the border with brand new, clean clothes and brand new joggers and all that sort of thing. That doesn't seem right. So we have to look at there's a huge cost involved in moving these people around, feeding them, housing them, shelter, clothes, shoes, everything is being provided for them. And then they arrive at the border already after a massive cost has been engaged in, a willful, deliberate cost to move all these people. Then they arrive at the US border or in Britain or wherever, and they get put up in hotels. Now, a few of the hotel companies will say how much their, the government effectively will take over the whole hotel. And these are people who've never seen running water or light switches or flushing toilets before. And they're given 4 or 5 star hotels to live in. Oh, fuck. 90% or 80% of the American population can't afford to stay in those hotels. Yet these illiterate, illegal alien peasants from the rural areas of wherever, they get to be staying in these places. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Is that what they call fair these days? It's insane. Anyway, the hotels look at what's their yield over a 12-month period. So if they've got, for example, a 100-room hotel, and they say, well, our yield is $140 a room, average over the 12 months. And that would include peak season and vacation season, and other times when there's much fewer guests staying. But it's an average of $140 a room. So they'll say to the government, well, you can have this for $140 a room, and you also have to sign a thing saying that any damages or anything, you'll make good all those repairs, and which they do. And the rooms, often these rooms, the things are getting trashed. Because a lot of people have never seen an elevator before, and they go crazy when they see it. So anyway, then you look at the food and the staff required to do the food, and you look at the cost. So it's costing over, on average, each illegal is staying in this form of accommodation for 21 months. That's the average. There's more or less. But when you look at the cost of the accommodation, the food, and the free mobile phone that they're given, spending money. A lot of them are given free travel tickets so they can use the trains and the buses for free, and all this sort of stuff. Now, they're things that aren't available to you and me, but these people are being given it. So they're living a lifestyle. Again, they've come from a one-room hut in the middle of nowhere where 10 people live in it. They've now come to a hotel room, a 4 or 5-star hotel room, swimming pool, the whole that most Americans or British people couldn't afford. and yet they're being gifted this for, well, no one really knows why, or no one can explain why. At least somehow it's fair, and they're escaping an oppression of some left wing Marxist bullshit like that. So anyway, these if we look at the time, the again average of 21 months, and look at the cost, it's costing sort of variously, say 95 to 105, 110,000 if it's a nicer hotel, and these are, maybe a bit more, but somewhere in that range. Now, if you look at the sort of jobs these illiterate peasants, illiterate in their own language, by the way, look at these jobs these illiterate peasants are going to get, then, and the sort of, most of it's going to be cash under the table, but or illegal employment. But if you look at the salaries or the pay grades they're going to be on, and the amount of tax they'll pay just to cover the cost of putting them up for those 21 months, they'd have to work non-stop, without missing a day. They'd have to work for 40 years just to generate enough tax to be able to equal the amount of money that was paid in those first 21 months. Now, most of them, the vast majority of them, will never even get to that. So these people are a net cost to the white Western world, and produce and create nothing, and are just parasites on the economy. Why the globalists and the World Economic Forum think this is a good idea is quite beyond me. The only reason can be because they want to eradicate white people. I can't think of another reason. You've been a Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.